No, everything's perfect. Look at that.
We're back.
Firefox
People can smell us. They can see us.
needs a refresh.
Yeah, I had to refresh my Twitch stream to see it. It's good, though.
All right, here we are. Oh, yeah. I think the last thing I was about to ask is if we should, we'll ask this lady, I forgot her name.
Dagmar. Or Dagma.
Dagma.
Dagma, not Dagmar. What's Dagmar from?
I don't know. I just thought a Dag would say
it's Dagmar Cleftjaw from Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, ask Dagma to hold put for a second, and the three of us can go have a private conversation.
Yeah, do you have some change? I haven't eaten in a few days.
I've got some
precedent.
coin.
I have some suspicious meat. Do you want some suspicious meat?
I'll give her a couple silver.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, don't override my suspicious meat.
Yep. I'm gonna go right. I'm gonna go right over there. She points to this building right here.
Like
it's they bake bread there. I'll be right there.
Okay.
She actually goes to a few of the other humans and like she's showing them the coins, and they're all coming with her.
I'll be at.
Oh, she's nice. We gotta save her.
So I do want to save them, but like.
You know, we were just having that.
To do that.
We were just having that conversation that striking out
alone
is dangerous, and we could use some,
bodies to throw at the danger.
I'm thinking by saving
They
them,
are armed.
They could save us.
They
are
were
armed.
A group of people hired to stop a Knoll attack. They've got, at least Dagma has some martial skill. And even if the others can't defend themselves, they can at least help.
They could still nullify some trouble.
Or
you know I'm all for this.
As you guys are bandying bad puns around, the closest. So you guys are standing about right here, and right here at the shoreline, there's a group of four. They look like those. They look like your friend Gnome, but they got the grayer skin, and their noses are a bit more pronounced.
Yeah.
A group of something start coming out of the sea. They look like just very overdeveloped fishmen. Like they've just got a kind of like a hulking upper bodies. They've got clubs and tridents, and they're coming out, and you can see that their scales are just littered with the little dots of red patches that are growing off of it. And as soon as they come up onto the shore, these gray gnomes just start beating the ever-loving crap out of them with these stone clubs and spears and such.
Fair.
I'll run up and I'll try to assist through magical means.
Okay, well, what do you do, or what do you cast?
Let me find where I hid my spells on the sheet. I would like to run up and cast Hold Person.
Okay.
I don't have Hold Person filled out. Let me go to the book to get the exact details. I think I can do it on multiple targets.
You can do it on a single or multiple. It's more effective on a single, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me open up the PDF. Yeah, I'll run up and I'll cast that. I'm getting the...
tell you what, then, if you're going to do that, roll a d6.
Sure thing.
Well, once you get up the spell description. Or d10, sorry, d10. Wrong system.
While he's actually doing something useful, I'm going to say, if you eat these fish instead of pescatarian, you're pituitarian.
Yeah. You know what? I got it wrong. It is a d6. I'm sorry, Chuck.
That's okay. I'll give you a d6.
I roll in too many games. There we go.
Yeah. There's a 5.
Yeah, I'm trying to type in the dice command in the stream chat. That doesn't work.
Crossing the stream.
All right. So they'll go first. So what ends up happening is that they got a little foothold on the beachfront, and they start in on these gray gnomes, and it's a group of 3 of them. All of them miss.
3?
They seem to be very like their limbs don't seem to be working right. It seems like almost like their joints have locked, so they've got limited mobility. And they're talking, or you assume is talking. It's you don't understand the fish speech, but they're burbling something over and over and over. You guess as they're stabbing at these gnomes, they miss each time. You got what the spell does there, Chuck?
Let's see. Oh, hold person.
These fish considered animals?
Yeah. Well, no, they're actually not. They're humanoids.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so hold person.
Almost had a friend.
60 foot, duration is 4 rounds plus 1 per level. Effects 1 to 3, takes 5 segments to cast it. Hold person spell completely immobilizes up to 3 medium-sized or smaller persons. For the spell's duration, the cleric decides how many of his or her foes he or she will target with the spell. If there's only 1 target, the saving throw is made at -2. If 2, each makes saving throw at -1. If the cleric seeks to hold 3, each makes its saving throw with no penalty. There's magic items can negate it. Yeah. So they need to make a save.
Yep, and you need to say how many you're going to try and target. Because
how many were there?
6. Or sorry, 3. There are 3.
I'm going to go ahead and try for all 3.
You're going to try for all 3. All right.
Yeah.
All right, and it says it takes how many segments?
5 segments.
All right, so look at the little chart here. Give me a second. They went on 4, and you're going on 5. So your spell won't go off until segment 10, or at the very end of the round. So your guys are gonna attack them first.
Okay.
So these gnomes are gonna go. Oh, he hits. 2 of them hit. Okay. Do very minimal damage though. So they're just like whacking at these things. Again, they're using primarily like stone clubs and cudgels. One of them does have like a trident. It's looks a little big for him, but he's able to get more distance. And they're going after them. So you go on, at the end of the round on segment 10, your spell goes off. You're trying for all 3.
Yep.
So what is the so they have no penalty to the roll if you're going for
no
all 3,
penalty
right?
to the roll, correct.
All right. 2 of them save. So one of them holds in place.
Okay.
He's got a spear. He's about shoved down onto one of the gnomes, and he's stuck in place. The other 2 are still going. Is Odette and Grown Wolf doing anything? Your Viet just ran.
Yeah.
At some struggle that's going on at the shore.
I'm kind of hesitantly running, like, oh no.
I wouldn't just because I don't think that I haven't been I'm not equipped to fight, and I don't even know if it would be weird for me to fight as a slave. So
I kind of don't want to leave you alone then. As a slave,
I've got my lizards. I'm okay.
Yeah, somebody might try to claim you. Or
It's
something
fine.
weird.
Collar.
I wouldn't be heartbroken. Of course, I'm not there to tell you that.
I think I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to go halfway between y'all and try to see who's going to need help. And I'm just going to be like a traffic cop.
We'll say that you're just doing your normal movement. So if you get between... Okay, that's fine. So no action, you're just taking movement.
Yeah, I'm just getting in between them as best I can.
All right. Go ahead, Chuck, roll for the next round.
Sure thing.
6.
I got a 6.
All right, you're going to go on segment 1. I should have asked you what you wanted to do. So what are you doing this round?
I am going to... I think I'm going to try and cast Hold Person again. And just use up my last casting of it for the day. And I'm going to target 2.
Okay, so it'll still go off before their action. So it'll have... Oh, actually, no, it takes 5 segments. So it'll actually go off on the same segment as theirs. So it'll be mutual. Okay. Hopefully they won't hit you in the same round.
Okay.
All right.
How far back am I in the combat? Am I right there in the front line?
No, you're probably behind them because they're kind of creating a line trying to keep them from coming further up.
Exactly where I want to be.
But they do have spears, though, which is a reach weapon.
Yeah.
Especially since what's fighting them, the little gnomes only come up to like their navel level.
Yeah.
All right, so they attack. Oh wow, all 3 hit. All right, the one that you froze in place is just taken down. They
Nice.
went for the weak link, and all 3 of them just clobbered this thing, knocked him down, and just beat a skull in on the ground. So they will go at the same time your spell goes off.
Okay.
So actually, what is your all right, so it was 5 segments, right?
Yep.
So this is where the speed factor works in when a spellcaster is casting on the same segment that
'Cause
the other team has their
Melee
attack.
goes first, right?
Well, no, it's by weapon speed, and it
Oh.
would be weapon speed versus how long your spell takes to cast in your 5 segments in your case. Their weapons are slower though, so your spell will go off first.
Good. So they got to make
There's 2 of them, so
2
they're
of
at a
them
negative
-1.
-1.
Yeah.
Fail. Okay, so they're both frozen in place before they're able to stab out. And actually, we can end it there because,
Cool.
the deep gnomes will just cut them
Finish
down.
it off.
Yep. Yeah, and they make short work of them. When they're done, they just nod at you. They don't really say anything. They're very taciturn. You noticed this the other night when you stopped and your friend had some words with their kind, but they just give you a nod, and they're replaced. They're checking themselves over to see if they were wounded or touched by the creatures, just to make sure.
Okay.
But they're swapped out with another group of 3.
Cool. I'll return their nod and return back to Grownwolf and Odette.
I'll just kind of be like,
It's not the fact that they're fish creatures, because you notice that there are other fish creatures wandering the village just fine, and no one's
And
bothering them.
Our
I'd
guide
like to ask-
warned us
go ahead.
about that too.
yeah. I'd like to ask one of the people that you were fighting with now that you're done, like, is the locking of the limbs, is that also why they call it rust? Is it like a hinge that won't move?
Yes. It affects the mouth and jaw first, so it makes it difficult to communicate.
We have something on the surface similar to that, but it's called tetanus.
We found it by using our microscopes.
And
That's
you
right.
get it from getting spiked with rusty nails.
It all comes around. It all
It all
comes
comes
around.
around. It's perfect. We cracked the case.
We took a shot at it.
That's it.
Bert got the tetanus shot. I'm glad you did, Bert.
I got it. I'm just displeased.
Oh, well, I'm used to displeasing you, though, so that's fine.
Minus 1,000 experience.
Oh, no. Grownwolf is now 3 years old and a level -2.
I only had 320.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So it looks like they're well equipped to handle this sort of thing. You know, they were taking extreme precaution to make sure that if any of them were actually hit by something other than a weapon, or even with the weapon, they're checking the wounds, cleaning them out very quickly.
Okay. I'm good to let them do their thing. I'm still thinking about the task at hand is talking to Dagma, because if we want to take on, you said it was Dagma plus 7 more.
Well, that was her original party. She said some of them died and some were taken prisoner along with the village.
Okay. But if we were to take on, Dagma and whatever other people are stranded here, that may inflate our numbers enough where it's safe enough for us to strike out on the faster path. What do you two think?
I think yeah. Once we assess how many are in her party, I'm all for more friends coming with us.
It might be nice to have some humans along with who also maybe are a little sad about being in the dark, like me.
Yeah.
I mean, plus, with our magic and our ability to see, we might be the only way these people have a chance to make it out of here.
It's very possible.
Yeah. If we can help them, I feel we are obligated to, if we can.
I agree.
Grownwolf may be a jerk, but he's not an asshole, so yes.
Cool. So we should go
Let's go.
find Dagma and let her know.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
All right. Well, if you go to the building that she'd pointed out, there are several humans and some not human. Some of the lizard creatures, but they're wearing the white robes as well, and they're sitting around just on the floor. There's no tables or chairs around. It just like a lot of people are just. There's ovens in here, and they're just baking bread and giving out water. Some mushroom stew, that sort of thing. It looks like a place. It's not a charitable place per se, because they are charging. It just looks like they're charging a very minimal amount, and they're going around and just handing out loaves of bread and bowls of these stew to everyone that comes in. That can give them a few coins. The people running it it's two of these grayish gnomes again. So they really, just, it seems to be the nature of their species. They just don't talk much. They just nod their heads and make a sound here and there. But they seem to be very caring of the people that are coming in. They're making sure everybody is getting some food, and like no fights are starting off because people are waiting.
Okay. Let's find Dagma then in this group.
Yeah.
And
She was by the bread stall, right?
Yeah, so she's as you find her, she's sitting in a circle on the floor with about 4 other people, and she stands up and she says, "These are the ones I was talking about. This is the rest of my party here. Sebastian, Charlotte." Points to another one. Yeah, he's not able to speak. We found him along the way. He's a good fighter, though. All of these are human. There are many of the other villagers here that were taken as well. We've been handed off more than once now, so they're not all here. I'm sure they're spread out to other places as well, but maybe half dozen or perhaps more villagers are here. Those are the ones that are still able to think on their own. There's probably another dozen that had something done to them.
Okay. Well, we have learned of a path to the surface, and it is our intention to take it. We would be welcoming of you and your group to come along with us. You will have to put in your own work and support and defend our caravan, as you would put it.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
Some of us are sick, not with this plague, but have sustained wounds and really upset stomachs from what we've been forced to eat since we've been here. Normally, I could help them with the powers of my goddess, but she's been silent since I've been here in this underworld.
Who is your goddess?
That's the second time you've mentioned them.
She actually looks a little embarrassed and says, I'm sorry, we're not able to speak her name to those who are not of the faith. She is a goddess of light and laws, but her light does not penetrate in these evil places. She does show you her symbol,
Okay.
which you've seen on occasion.
Okay. Do I recognize it, or is it just I've seen it before, but I don't know the name of it?
You are a cleric.
Yeah.
You follow Moradin, though, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah. So it's I tell you what, make me an intelligence check.
Sure thing. I just got to roll a d20 and roll under my intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my score is a 10. I got a 5. All right.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of those humans, one's never enough. They got a dozen or more gods for different things. You've
Sounds
seen
right.
the sign before.
Yeah.
It's a goddess that is of abundancy, of crops, of light, that sort of thing. Definitely of lawful persuasions. You
Okay.
don't know the specifics of the cult or the worship, but enough to know that they would be fair dealing with.
Okay. I'll offer my services. Like I can certainly help heal your sick. Morden still reaches me here in the depths.
Yeah, she looks shocked at that. Actually, it's like, well, I suppose it makes sense. I mean, you're a god of the tunnels and caves as well. So this is as much his domain as theirs, I suppose.
Yes.
I overhear this, and knowing like I'm not as useful, I'm like, if anybody is like an insomniac, I could put them to sleep.
This.
Mage. We had one of those. Gregor. He was killed in the initial attack. Took a bolt to the throat.
That's unfortunate.
I would not. Being a you're Elven.
Yeah.
You are Elven. Okay, yeah. Being an Elven and a mage, would not broadcast that very much down here. They don't like mages. They really don't.
I heard there were a few in the city when this hit. You know, maybe if they weren't so prejudiced against mages, they could have figured out what this problem was.
Well, from what I can gather, from what I've seen in this various cities I've been marched through, it's not so much that you're a mage, but that you're male and you have power. The worship of Lolth is prominent down here, and Lolth has only women are her priestesses. And especially since you're an elf, an elven male with power is not good.
Okay.
So better to pretend I'm not, then, is what you're saying, unless need be.
I wouldn't advertise it.
Okay. Thinks back to earlier conversation.
But there are several of us that, if we're healthier, could definitely provide strong sword arms and perhaps a bit other knowledge and help. But with the sickness involved, they may be more of a hindrance than a help. I just would not like to leave them behind.
I will try my best to give them relief. And I guess during our time here, however long we spend, I'll be willing to tend to the wounded and the ill.
Okay. Well, do you have any healing spells memorized for the day?
Mm-hmm.
They work. Yeah, so they work. So you'll be able to make 3 people healthy.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Outside of that, just knowledge of first aid isn't enough. They're all ailing from some bad food,
right.
Probably infestations like your friend here was.
Okay.
And just very weak and dehydrated from it.
Sure. Yeah, I'll dump my spells for the day. I'm out now, so on healing and they have more after that, I'm guessing.
Yeah. There's altogether, there are 14 humans here that would very much like to make it back to the service, but not all of them are going to be useful for, as men-at-arms.
Right.
They were, it's just her and these 4 here. So 5 that are useful to you. The rest of them are going to be baggage, but they were villagers that were taken prisoner by drow, which again, that's not really heard of.
Yeah, I don't know about you two, but I am perfectly set to take all 14 of these,
I mean, I'm human. They're human. I empathize with them knowing what they're going through. So, I mean, even though I am, I'm neutral, I would still likely be like, yeah, I've done my bad thing, so now I'm ready to do my good thing. Also, before I go to bed, I want to see if I can find any small animals. Like, I don't know if we're going to bed here, but like, if we do, I want to use my animal friendship.
I would actually ask you to, if we could stay here for a handful of days.
To heal these people up, essentially.
Yeah, let's do it.
It'll make our travel easier. I'm fine with that.
Because I'm thinking I can heal 3 people a day. I can help out on the shore. And when I'm not doing that, I can help out the Smurf Nevlin deal out food in their soup kitchen.
Nice.
Well, Dagmar tells you like the safest place to camp is in the merchant section.
Sure.
They can close those city walls if something happens. Other than that, You can see it across from here, but if you guys look at the map, number 16, that's where all of the people that lived here on a regular basis lived before.
Okay.
And these were the people that caught the plague first.
Okay.
And so those are abandoned houses,
No.
but a lot of these infected fish people tend to come out and wander through those streets at various times, and they're not defending them anymore. They're just leaving them to their own
Yeah,
devices.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will definitely stick in the merchant's quarter.
The other things that you're seeing about this place is there's a lot of, like, this used to be a really, from what you can tell, a very large trading hub. These docks over here speak to large vessels that would come in and out at various times. This large building at the bottom here is actually a lighthouse, but the beacon is off. It's not shining anymore.
Are there any people that look like they're from the docks and the merchants area, since they're not really out and sailing? Like, is there anybody I could tap on the shoulder and grab that's a sailor?
There are a lot of people out of here, and again, it's a mix between you're seeing these lizard men, these fish people, more drow, more of these gray gnomes. All the humans that you see are slaves, or at least they're wearing the slave robes.
Accoutrement, yeah.
Yeah. Occasionally you'll see some of these tentacular faced beings that everyone gives a really wide berth around. But there are a lot of people here that seem to be still fishing in the waters and working on smaller ships. They're still taking ships out into the water.
I'd like to walk up to one of the tentacular folks.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
All right. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking the thing.
No,
I'm
what are you
thinking?
thinking?
I know. I'm genuinely thinking. My plan was to think, as an outsider myself, I deal with a fair bit of prejudice in the short time I've been here, and I see others give you a wide berth.
Okay. So as you're walking up and thinking these things, and the creature doesn't even turn around, but you do hear very clearly in your head, "You have no idea."
Oh, I bet. I've only been here a short time, and they're treating you worse than the rust.
Well, it's not that they treat me poorly. They treat me quite well, actually. They're just not very companionable. Its tongue kind of comes down and kind of licks around his mouth a little bit. He's like, "Pardon me, I haven't eaten in a while, and you're making me very hungry."
Oh, what do you typically eat? Like,
brains.
Do they sell things? Oh, brains. That's awesome. That's super cool. Does that awesome, buddy? And then I'm just gonna be, and I'm gonna say with the whole being able to communicate this way thing, you catch any clues as to what's going on here? Because everybody's so scared, they're not talking a whole lot.
It's mostly fright, and a lot of how to make coin off one another. Really, it's very, very low form of life I find here. Very low.
I'm not a big fan of capitalizing on other people's labor either. We do have some things in common. I don't so much eat the brains. I have some. I'd like to keep them, but we can be friendly. How does that sound? I would like.
I think not. If you have a service you can perform for me, perhaps we can make an agreement of sort. But no friendliness. I don't think so. One doesn't make friends with their food. It's a very bad example. Makes it hard to eat.
No, that makes sense. If you develop companionship, it might be hard to put them down. I get it. Same thing happened to me with rabbits as a boy. So with that in mind, good talk, buddy. I appreciate the banter, and I hope you find some brains, okay?
I need to sail out of here first. These brains are so diseased of the mind.
Oh, it's a shame.
Not a good fare.
I haven't found good food here yet either myself, but hopefully both of us have better luck. Talk to you later.
If you truly wish to leave this place, I could offer you perhaps an easier way out of here.
Oh, no kidding. See, that's the thing. I'm thinking to myself, hey, this guy, he's by himself. He might have valuable information that all these other people don't know. So
Is the easier way out the sweet release of death? Like, is that what it is, or?
It can be, but
Okay.
I believe that you physically wish to leave this place. Look, I have a ship. My ship is damaged. If I can get my ship fixed, I can sail out of here into less polluted waters, and I can tell you an easier way to get to the surface. Assuming any of you have the skill to repair my ship or to provide service aboard the ship, I will take your friends and any here that wish to leave as well. I am well aware that there are many succulent slaves walking about.
Interesting. So I was actually attempting to maybe find a sailor to leave. So this is quite serendipitous. Maybe there is something we can do. Let me talk to my party. As you know, as you see, I'm kind of with some people, and we do have some slaves. And see what everybody thinks. Well, you know what everybody thinks, though.
There's something that sounds like chuckling in your head.
Nice. I'll think to him like, just give me a bit, and I'll see what everybody else is feeling on this.
I'm sure you'll find me around. I'm going to see if the merchants have any boat rights amongst them.
Sounds good. So yeah.
So like this whole conversation took place while he didn't even turn around to look at you. He just continuing to walk.
Like one time I saw his tongue kind of go by the side, and that's about it. All right.
What are the rest of you guys doing? So you're still inside basically the soup kitchen, which is essentially what this is. As you guys are there, you see a group of halflings come in. Two of them look like adults. One of them looks like a child, and their eyes are just like the pupils are like just pinholes. And they come in. You notice their cheeks are really distended, and they walk up and to the gnomes that are tending the place, and they go, and they basically spit coins out onto the floor, and they put their hands out for food.
I will go to what's the lady's name? I'm gonna remember it one of these days.
Dagma.
Yeah.
Are these some of the ones
Just call her
that
Sweet D.
Yeah, she just shakes her head, just like, their masters did something to them.
And these are the tentacle-faced masters?
Some. There are others that are as cruel or worse. She kind of points out, and she tells you to look at the back of their heads, and you notice that there's a patch on their back of their head, like in a circular pattern. Like, have you ever seen like a lamprey or a leech bite someone? That's what it looks like on the backs of their heads.
God. Okay. Yeah. It's great news. Just great news.
Yeah.
Yep. The deep gnomes or dark gnomes give them food, and they just kind of shake their heads. They take it and they just basically cram it in their face and start chewing, and they walk out, just walk away.
So definitely our goal down here is to not end up like them.
As Groenwolf comes back and says, "Hey, I found this wonderful guy."
Won't believe it. Opportunity of a lifetime. It's a short lifetime.
Do we get like this? From what Dagma originally told us, do we get the sense that she and her the rest of her party would be comfortable traveling with somebody like John Tentacles, because that's also his name now?
That is his name now, Tentacles.
Yeah.
Well, she would prefer not, but if you would get her to the surface, they're not going to make bones.
Okay. Do I think my 2 giant lizards will fit on the boat?
Well, you haven't seen his boat yet, so you don't know, but you get the idea from what Groenwolf is telling you that it's a fairly large vessel.
If it can fit 14 plus slaves, and like he said, I know you've got a bunch of slaves, I'm thinking it's big.
Cool. I keep an eye out for any wildlife that I might see in this town.
It's just like a fungal squirrel.
Yeah, I mean, most of what you're seeing are insects, like really long centipedes, things like that. You're not seeing much else. and your
Excuse me.
lizards see those as food. Like their tongues will whip out, grab it, and start chewing on it.
No, bad Phil or Collins.
Spit that out. That's a friend.
That out right now. I would like to see if I see a particularly like mean looking one, like a really like big one, like maybe the winner of Thunderdome of the bugs. And I want to try and like animal friendship it.
You're
Well, not
looking for a
immediately.
centipugilist.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'd like to keep an eye out. It doesn't have to be right now, Bert, but like
Sure.
just I'm keeping an eye out.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what's going on?
Oh, I just like the idea of a centipede flexing all of its arms.
Yeah, it would fall over.
But it'd be so cute.
He's so cute.
It's got gold covered talons around its
Oh,
mouth.
that's great. That's great.
It's got like a towel around its head, like a boxer like before.
I want this version of the centipede, please.
I do want to put out there that I think I'll wait till Brendan gets his ear in so he can hear us. Okay, now that he can hear us,
And taste us and see
and
us.
smell us.
I do want to put out there that I think traveling with the psychic creatures that like to eat brains is a real bad idea. Did you
He
ask
was
how
so nice.
Did you ask how big his crew of fellow brain eaters is?
Oh, I didn't, but we could, right? Like, no harm in asking.
I don't know. I think my vote would be healing up all these people, all of us gathering up into a large group, venturing out with our new, the new lizard friends that Odette has made.
The problem is that's not a plan that scales. We've got so many people now.
Ouch. Ouch.
I don't know. That pun had a long tail.
Oh my
Negative
God.
$1 million. I'm not even Bert. I'm giving you negative $1 million experience.
No, seriously though, that plan doesn't scale. We've got 2 lizards and like 16 people.
We're all going to be walking. Even when there was just 2 lizards in just our group, there was too many people to ride on the lizard. Our best bet would be to get a wagon of some kind and harness the lizards up to a wagon to, pull those too ill to walk.
Okay, I mean, I was kind of curious to see if we'd get our brains eaten, but you make sense.
As the wizard, you should respect your brains more than the rest of us.
Maybe that's exactly why I don't.
Okay, that's
Well,
fair.
he respects his brains just fine.
That's
he figures
fair.
you're the ones that are going to be eaten.
I developed a rapport, definitely not eating me. Yeah, no, okay. Good plan. I'm with you. Maybe I'm a bit hasty to be a little too tasty. Let's investigate the whole just walking thing, I guess. But the problem is, according to this tentacle fellow, John Tentacles, it sounds like it might be one of the only ways out of here is by boat.
Well, we have our map.
True. What does the map say?
I guess I'll consult the map and see if I'll look for a place where we can kind of privately consult the map.
Okay, I mean, you can just take a spot on the floor here, just away from other people.
Yeah.
The various groups are pretty much minding their own.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember, did we get the map that had markings on it, but not magical markings, right?
Oh, you got both.
Oh,
Yeah, he gave you both.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Mhm.
Nice.
So if you look around, by land, there is a close vent that looks like it comes up into a deep canyon on the surface side. It's going to be a lot of climbing. It looks like a fairly long trek. The magical map tells you that it's not the most perilous route. There are worse, but there are definitely things you're going to have to contend with along the way.
Okay.
The water routes seem to be the safest, but they're also the longest. Like you're going to have to journey a fair many miles away from. Well, actually, you don't even know how far away from the spot that you went through the portal to here is. Like you could it could be right above you, or you could be thousands of miles away, since the portal could have dropped you anywhere. So there's a lot of water to cross, but the water routes do seem to be the safest according to the magical map. I mean, not completely safe. There are things in the water, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not only are there things in the water, but there's also the creatures on the boat with us that I would worry about.
Now, having said that, there are a lot of abandoned boats along the docks there.
That's I don't know anything about selling. Do you two?
But, with abandoned boats, there are out-of-work sailors potentially stranded here. There might be people desperate to take a job.
I have 5 gold.
Maybe you shouldn't have been giving those silver away to Dagma. Dagmark the occasion.
Those are put to good use.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I'm broke as a joke. Like, I'm pretty broke, so...
I don't think I had much.
I got nada. I mean, sorry, I have 8 silver and 9 copper.
I've got 3 silver. Basically what you gave Dagma is what I have.
You watch him giving Dagma the silver and you're like, ah!
I've been puking my guts out for 3 days and haven't eaten, and you're just giving away good money.
I need Pedialyte, damn it.
Oh man.
You probably do. You can't see anything. You need Pedialyte.
Well, no one has looked into the silk bag that the merchant threw you guys yet.
Yeah.
So if you open that up and look, there's a few platinum coins and a bit of gold in there.
Wow. All right.
You don't know what the values of anything are down here, though.
Right.
I mean, upstairs, this is a fair amount of money.
Down
you
here.
Know. Yeah, you don't
Before
know.
we go, we should get some platinums and get some food.
I would.
Oh, speaking of which, do you eat the fresh bread coming out of the ovens and this, that same nourishing stew that the merchant was feeding you along the way?
Yeah.
It's been a couple of days now, so yeah, you're worm-free, grown wolf.
I'm so excited. So excited. Carbs.
Yeah, I'm fine eating that food.
100%. Yeah.
Yep. Again, it's not much on the taste, but it's filling.
It probably tastes like heaven to me after a couple days of
Probably, yeah. Hunger's the best spice.
Yeah, 1,000,000,000%.
Right. So yeah, you're left with a couple of opportunities. The cheapest thing to do is to use what money you have to buy supplies and trek it by foot, which might also be the most dangerous, or you can try and find work enough to hire yourself a boat, which might be the safest. You've got some options.
I do like the idea of the boat, but I'm open to whatever.
Considering that we're bringing
Chuck
along.
is so not into the boat.
Like you're so pained.
I am.
Chuck is trying to be as diplomatic as possible. He's like, I
love it so much.
I'm coming.
Love it
Okay.
so much.
Well, like I'm a stout and sturdy dwarf in heavy armor. Like, if I get in the water, I'm just gonna sink like a rock.
You don't want to consider it?
What's that?
I said, or are you sure you don't want to consider
Oh
it?
my gosh. I really don't like the.
Sounds better later.
If you had played in any of my other D&D campaigns, none of my players set foot on boats because bad things happen on boats.
Well, in that case,
I'm not saying that I do it on purpose. It's just random rolls. It's like every single time they set foot on a boat, something happens.
Some random encounter of doom.
If we can get a boat without, squiggly boys on it, I would be way more inclined to say yes to that. Which means we claim an abandoned boat. We either figure out how to sell it ourselves, which I don't know how to do, or we see if there's a way we can rustle up a crew. I mean, we do have these 14 people here. We can ask if any of them are familiar with sailing. But then also there's the added difficulty of sailing on a sea without stars.
You got a map to navigate by, but yeah, you're very well right in that. Well, that doesn't help you with finding waypoints.
Yeah,
unless you just hug a coastline.
Yeah,
and that's could add so much time.
Yeah, that sounds a bit Marco YOLO for sure.
Does our map show us our location? Or was that the next level up?
No, you can find the location actually because you know the name of this city.
Okay, well, I meant, I thought there was one map that magically showed us, like, you are here.
Right. Yeah, that was a really expensive one.
Right.
He didn't
Okay.
with.
That's
but
fine.
he did give you the one that is all marked up that tells you locations and like what to avoid. And all
Okay.
that.
Good. Okay. Yeah, if we can figure out a crew, I mean, I can start selling my services out for coin on healing. Maybe we take some side jobs here and there, and we search for any sailors that just really want to get out of town. Maybe that's our solution.
Yeah, maybe we do a little bit of both, right? We like hedge our bets, try to earn some money, see what is plausible first, getting out just walking or getting out with a boat full of a competent crew that assures us that they won't strand us in the middle of this.
I mean, listen, if they strand us out in some strange place in this underground world, we're going to be no worse off than we are right now.
I mean, we could be a little worse off, but not much.
True. And especially with the fact that we're going to have all those, extra people who aren't trained to handle themselves. It makes me worry about walking.
Yeah, true.
It's like, would you just surround yourselves with them? And they're like a blade of armor, you know, like they got to go
meat
through
shield.
all the... Yeah,
it's that meat shield. Yeah. All right.
Well, if you ask the group, out of Dagma's group, Charlotte does know how to handle small boats. Her family were fishermen. But a small boat's not going to do you taking those lizards and this many people. But she does know her way around small vessels. So, I mean, she would know some basics. Yeah.
She might be able to at least help vet potential crew, too.
Right. Out of the rest of the slaves, a couple of them have worked on larger ships and know their way around rigging. They know how to keep the upkeep, but they're not navigators and they're not sailors as far as, you know, they wouldn't know how to get you pointed in the right direction, but they could keep the ship from, you know, filling with water and keep all the rigging working.
A great point too, yeah. Well, if we're going to be here for a few days so I can heal the rest of these people, maybe in that downtime, I heal some people for money. I work in this kitchen here to make some other coin, and maybe we can start asking around to see if there are any actual sailors to help us navigate this underground sea that don't eat brains as their primary source of sustenance.
I mean, it's a better plan than I had.
He looks so sad nonetheless. Well, I tell you what, first of all, Odette, why don't you roll me a die, and before you roll it, tell me high or low, or excuse me, even or odd.
I'll do odd. Do you want me to do a D100?
Doesn't matter. Any die that's got an even number of sides.
It's odd.
It's odd. Okay. So the only thing that you're seeing in the area, which many of the people here seem to be using for food stuff, are these incredibly large centipedes. I mean, some of these are like 5-6 feet long. You do find one that is, it's like on a crevice of the wall is climbing over the top of the wall, and you see it actually. It's pretty, like, it goes after prey. This thing is.
Can one of the booths that sells them be called cent per pound?
Oh, jeez. Sure. So you do find one. If you want to try your spell on it, you can. And again, how does the spell read?
So it is it has to be a normal animal of neutral alignment to start. It can't be completely unintelligent, but cannot be of greater than animal intelligence. So I can't, anything sentient, I can't. You will do a saving throw, will saving throw, and it will be my bud, and I will teach it tricks.
Well, failed a saving throw, so it looks like you've got a 6-foot-long poisonous centipede wrapped around you like a shaw.
Wow, that's impressive. All right, that's impressive.
It's kind of comes over the back where its leg, its head on top of yours, so it looks like you're wearing a helmet
Give it little
made
scritches.
of this.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
little
can
scritches.
I pet it? This seems neat.
Yeah, it's my friend. It's friendly to things that I think it's friendly to things that are my friends. So
Don't make sudden moves toward her, and you're fine.
That's fair.
What? What is our new companion's name?
oh,
Centipede Dexter.
Is it
I was gonna say
Centipedes?
Centipeder. I was gonna say Centipede. Yeah,
That's even better.
Centipeder. Yeah.
Centipedes. We both went there with the portmanteaus. Yours is better. It is better.
Oh. Right. Okay. Now, Chuck.
Yes.
Were you going to ask around for an actual navigator or a ship captain that was okay?
Yeah.
Same thing. Roll a die. Tell me even or odd before you roll.
All right. I'll roll you a d20. I'm gonna go with. I'm feeling evens. Got a 20.
Look at that, a 20 too.
There we go.
Yes. There is a ship captain here. He's got long tentacles.
Nope.
But aside from him, yes, there actually was a cargoman here. He has a large barge, or at least he did, that he would take. He would buy a lot of stuff up from the caravans that would stop here, and he would take them on to some of the capital cities. He said did because his cargo hauling vessel has got a sizable hole in it from an attack. However, if you can find a boat for him, he'd be willing to captain it. You show him on the map, like, it's going to be a long trip, but this is where you eventually want to go. He does some calculating and says, look, you find me a boat, you find me a crew, you let me take some goods with us, make a few port stops, 150 gold. Now you're asking for a long trip, and I don't like the fact that you're. What you're asking him to do is actually you're having him pilot this underground river up to the point where it comes out into the above world river. He doesn't really like doing that, but he's willing to, as long as you're willing to find him a crew, a ship, and allow him to make some stops along the way.
Okay, I can agree to that. What is the exchange rate on platinum to gold?
I believe in this game it's 10 to 1. I think might be 100 to 1.
I think you said we had a few, right?
We had like 2 platinum, and this would be me asking him. Like, I don't have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Well, I need the money, not because I'm trying to be an ass to you. I mean, if you find me a ship and a crew, I mean that's great, but I've got to be able to buy some merchandise to make this worthwhile. I mean, we're gonna have to feed the crew. Yeah. There's supplies that the ship's going to need itself. So I'm thinking 150 is the bare minimum of what we're going to get by on. And that's not putting money in my pocket.
Yeah, I understand that entirely. Yeah, well, let's make a tentative deal. Give me a few days to scrounge up the money or to come up with a plan for the money. That way we can get the supplies we need.
I'll start asking to see what the caravans have to sell, what might be useful down the line. Okay. Maybe we can get by with less if we can find some good deals, some good things that will sell in the first city or two and make some money from that. I want to get out of here too.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, my question for you, Bert, would just be asking around how much gold do I get out of those platinum?
Let's say right now, if everybody pulls what they have, including the other players that aren't here tonight, you're about halfway to his asking price. You're about 75 gold. And that's pulling everybody's money and not leaving anything extra.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask him while Chuck's while Viet's negotiating, like, what do people do here to earn gold on the quick?
And most of it's caravan duty, following caravans, making sure they're safe. What's left of the council here, he points to the groups that are keeping things from coming out of the water. They get paid for that.
Oh.
I
might be able to moonlight doing that.
Grown Wolf and Odette, I have an idea, and I'm quite ashamed of it. We have large portions of this town that have been abandoned due to the rust. Mm-hmm. If we're looking for a slightly quicker, riskier way to make some money, maybe we could just borrow from those buildings that are no longer being used.
I see what you're saying. I also see that the GM is chuckling and is quite happy at your suggestion, which makes me think perhaps this is a bad idea. No, actually, like, I'm all for looting, and yeah.
I don't want to call it looting. I feel dirty enough as it is.
Well,
Just
let's put it this
having
way.
this idea.
Temporary relocation of abandoned assets.
I like that much better. Thank you.
Well, if it soothes Viet's conscience, I mean, everything was abandoned. The people that were there are dead. So,
So you're only stealing from the dead, Viet.
That's still not good.
Really?
it's merely grave robbing now.
That's still not
grave robbing?
good. But if it's the sin we have to commit to save these people from their current hardships and return them to their homes, then I am willing. I will take my atonements for this.
I get what you're saying. That's some gray Jedi wishy-washy namby-pamby shit there. I'm just saying. But no, I agree. I think it's a good idea. In that it's a good idea if it's not super dangerous and we don't get killed. But I'm willing to risk it because we need gold, and a caravan trip is going to take a lot of time and us away from here.
Yeah. With that, I'll kind of ask around, like, what buildings. I know, the town 16 on the map is abandoned. What about, like 17 and 9 and 10?
Basically, everything from 10 down has been abandoned. So like 10, 18 across from it, and everything down has been abandoned because there's just been too many attacks. You're not the first people who have thought of that. To get trade goods for more food, or to be able to afford to get out of here. And some people have had success at that, but it is dangerous. The infected fishmen swarm those streets on occasion, and there's no good way to tell when they're coming. But people have made a fair amount doing it. Out of these buildings, what's your charisma, Chuck?
Low. Let me see. 7.
Oh my gosh.
It's real low. I'm an asshole, not a,
Yeah.
Mine's
Go ahead
a
and give
10.
me.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, if you're going with Chuck and asking around, or with Viet, both of you can roll.
Okay.
Viet's actually hurting you.
So I have a spell, but I didn't
Because
prepare.
with a charisma 7, it follow me for a moment, but it's almost like Viet is walking up to people saying, "Hey, you godless scum!"
Yeah.
And that's his opening line.
My 7 was a tactical choice because I was looking how I could lean into the lawful asshole role of a cleric.
I'm an 18. So I'm pretty good, but nobody's gonna listen to me.
Oh, they will.
I mean, if you're that charismatic.
And actually, from what you've been able to see so far, nobody really cares about
Oh, okay.
the whole positioning of the slave thing at all.
Like,
because,
society is too fucked with the rest.
yeah.
I'll go around. Like I can do that. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Well, if you're gonna
we're
be-
trying to wingman his uncouth, uncharismatic self.
Yeah, I need that help.
Yeah.
So what he meant to say was, so Chuck, Viet is going to lead, and then I'm going to I'm going to pivot whatever.
And
he
while you
says.
do that, I'm just gonna be like, there, buddy, and like putting my hand on his
Like,
mouth.
what is it when? Oh, that skit where Obama had that angry voice.
the Key and Peele. Yeah, the Key and Peele
Yeah,
skit.
you're my Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah, you there,
Well-
godless heathen living in this dark hellhole.
What he means is, hello, survivor.
Yeah,
So, Odette, what you find out is for the most bang for your misery, buildings 9 and 17 are going to have the most wealth in them. 9 was actually the town's what passes for like bank. Okay.
Oh.
It's where merchants would come by. They would get letters of barter or letters of credit, so they would dump their physical, like, wealth here, and instead of transporting that wealth, which could be stolen, they have little letters saying that they have so much in
Okay.
this bank. So that's 9. 17.
When you said that, did you see Chuck's reaction when he said that? Like, pay my attention.
17 was essentially the mayor's home. Okay. You're going to learn just from talking to various people. No one's going to care if you raid these places. Several people have tried already. 9 is most definitely going to be worthwhile for money, but it's probably the most dangerous because not only do you have to contend with the fishmen, there are traps inside of this place. Things have been set up to secure the gold, etc. Some magical, but the payoff is going to be enormous if you can get through it. No one's succeeded so far, or at least if they have, they haven't told anyone.
Yeah, but they're not us. Okay.
Listen.
Yes, Fiat?
17, the mayor's mansion.
17, the mayor's mansion is likely to have a lot of goods too. The least risky is actually going door to door in the neighborhood sections because you've got a lot of room to run.
That sounds like my preference.
It's going to take a lot more time to get wealth this way, but because of all the streets, you can literally go from rooftop to rooftop if you wanted to. You have a lot more ability to navigate around a problem. So yeah, those are the 3 areas that are going to produce the most for you. And again, the village area has been the most lucrative for people that have actually lived through it and gotten out. They usually do it on several staged runs. I mean, it's not like it's been completely carefree. People have died, but it's been the most substantial gains for the least amount of harm.
Friction. It's like the ratio of friction to profit is best.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that. Listen, I'm no thief and I'm no wizard. We have a wizard, we have a thief, but the amount of, life experience that these two have had might be a little low compared to the area that we're currently venturing in.
Well, Grunwolf's probably a few hundred years old as an elf.
Yeah, I spent like only 20 years of it shitting.
Listen, if every trap can be bypassed by an ass grease trap, then we are set.
But of course.
I'm just gonna keep feeding you that half orc milk, and you're gonna like just be like bugbear milk. Sorry, and you're just gonna turn around and pull your pants down and just shit like projectile into the rooms, and it'll set off all the traps.
I may have cast magic missile once per day, but this verm of it doesn't go away.
It's casting grease.
Ugh.
Oh no.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm in favor of raiding these houses.
I need to find Olivia Newton-John if I have to keep casting grease.
So it's not shown on here, but connecting each of the islands are these spider silk bridges. Like there are footbridges between the islands.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to ask. Like I didn't know if we needed to get a little boat or.
And then there's a matter of getting to the docks and seeing if there's a large enough vessel for the captain to be able to use.
Are we going to take any of the former slaves with us? Because there was that one silent one that was a fighter.
Well, there's 4 of them that are good enough to fight now.
Okay, 4. Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that. Okay.
I don't see why we wouldn't. I mean,
it's in their interest to get us out of here too. So
my only concern is the more of us there are, the harder it will be for us to hide and sneak. And I got to tell you, I am deadly at short ranges. Not so much if you have to make me run a couple blocks.
What kind of armor are you wearing anyway?
Scale.
Scale's not too bad. As far as like being on a boat, you can get it off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If you needed to. You also don't tinkle as much when you move, so.
That's good.
I'm wearing floofy magic user robes. Whee! light as a feather, which is great because sometimes I just have to hike them up really quickly, apparently.
Odette's now wearing chitin armor.
Oh, yeah.
She's wrapped in a
Oh, yeah.
huge centipede.
Oh, I feel so secure. I love it so much.
Her armor stat is a centipede.
All right. Well, I tell you what, you guys kind of have a plan as a party. You want to hit the neighborhoods in 16. Yeah, if you want to get Dagma, Charlotte, Sebastian, and we'll just call the other guy Silent, because he doesn't speak.
Okay.
They're willing to go with you, and maybe next session we'll have some more players as well. Yep.
How about
Yeah.
If we have anybody new join us, they can take over one of these character
Oh, cool.
classes.
That's a good idea.
But let's go ahead and end it there, since the next part that we're going to be into is probably going to be heavy in the combat.
Sounds good.
It's probably be heavy in the dying if we try to go forward now.
Yeah. Yep. Good enough. Well, I mean, yeah, it's mostly set up, but you've got some more story going on. Hopefully, this was a fun session for you
I
guys.
enjoyed it.
Oh, no, yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I that's the thing. Like, even with our Shadowrun stuff, I always say, Bert, I just really enjoy the setup a lot for everything. And so, like, I'm really happy with these sessions where it's more cerebral and you just kind of figure some stuff out. Like, I'm super interested in the Rust.
Yeah.
That's just me.
It gave me a great chance to be a cleric.
Right.
I got to go
Well,
feed the
before-
poor and heal the sick.
Right, you did both, right? And
Yeah.
you also had to, like, tread the moral line of, is it okay to take these things that have been abandoned? And, like, before the session started, I had already thought, like, my character, who's supposed to be kind of a brainy wizard, spent all last session crapping himself because of this weird substance. He's probably interested in what it is, which is, like, a perfect thing for finding out that it's the Rust and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Right. You guys are earning experience through all of this. The only thing is with first ed, especially, you can't level until you get to a place of safety.
Safe.
And
Yeah.
can,
Well, we're still way off. I was looking
Yep.
at mine. I'm
way
at 320 and I have to hit 1,220.
Yeah.
So
I would say that everyone will have accumulated enough by the time you find your way to either a safe haven or out of this hell. So,
okay.
yep. Odette is getting her experience in other ways, as she has a menagerie now that's following.
It's what I have to do as a druid. Like, I'm abusing the crap out of the fact that it doesn't tell me how many I can have.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no limit other than
there's
you
no
have to
limit.
be able to feed them or put
That's
them in
it.
an environment where they can feed themselves. That's it. Otherwise, the skinky mage might be swallowed by a centipede tonight. Who knows?
The first trick I'm going to teach them is to not eat our friends. Like, that's going to be the first trick everybody
They're
learns.
hungry. They're hungry, though.
No.
That's what I have to tell my cats when they go after the chickens. We don't eat friends.
I had some hounds on the farm that used to do that too. They used to chase chickens. I'm like, nobody, no.
Oh.
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and end the stream. Then we're talking to ourselves as there are only 4 people on right now.
Yeah.
But that's
Fair.
quite all
Yeah.
right. We'll go ahead and do an outro. Jen, why don't you go ahead and plug anything you've got to plug, and we'll work our way out.
Okay, so if you haven't already, please purchase the Halazine or Dan Dies in the End issue 1. We're coming out with issue 2 of that version, as well as the holiday version coming in December. Yeah, you should definitely watch what Friendin does. Passes the ball to Friendin.
Hi, I'm Friendin, also a Defenders of Kobold, and I draw stuff usually from like noon to 3 CST live, lots of tabletop stuff. But beyond that, there are Pokemon streams where Jen describes Pokemon to me and I draw them sight unseen because I don't know anything about that part of pop culture and she knows more than me.
Nice, Chuck.
Defenders of Kobold, twitch.tv/Defenders of Kobold. We stream all sorts of stuff. Wednesdays, it's either Spectaculars or it's our Dark Trails campaign where we're running the D&D adventure Rime of the Frost Maiden. Fridays, it's either going to be what do we got? Our Evil 5th Ed campaign or Mutineer Zero. Saturdays, I'm either running games on the Free League Publishing Twitch account or the Goodman Games official Twitch account. We also got the stuff here on Notorious DMG where it's every other Sunday night we're running Shadowrun, and Tuesdays when we feel like it, whether that's every Tuesday or every other Tuesday, we're running some this here First Ed D&D. Yeah.
Good stuff. And I'm Bert. I am the host and primary GM of the podcast of Steam, Steel, and Murder, which you can find at BlueMagic, BLUMAGIK.com. 10 plus years of recorded audio games there of all kinds of different things. But thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.
Goodbye.